These are our report Group 4. Our application project architectural drawing entitled of Simple Floor Plan and Elevation.
I'm Lawrence A. Sinsuntek, and this is the CAD report of Group 4. This project is about creating simple architectural floor plan and elevation using CAD software. The activity using CAD software helps students understand the basic concepts of architectural drawing such as layers, dimensioning, and annotation. By completing this project, they learn how to organize a drawing properly and how to make it clear, readable, and professionally. The goal of this project is to produce a clean and accurate CAD output that can be included in the final portfolio for CAD 1.
Objectives. Number 1. To create a simple and complete floor plan using CAD. Number 2. To create a basic elevation view of the structure. Number 3. To properly use layers in organizing drawing elements. Number 4. To apply dimensioning using correct measurement tools. Number 5. To add annotation to make the drawing understandable and informative.
Tools and software used: CAD software, AutoCAD or any equipment line, rectangle, circle, tools, layer, properties, manager, dimension, tools, text, and annotation tools.
For creating the floor plan. Setting units. Set the drawing units to either millimeters or meters to ensure accurate measurements. Number 2. Drawing the walls. Use the line and rectangle tools to create the perimeter walls and interior partitions. 3. Adding doors and windows. Standard door sizes, that is the example for 0.80 meters, and window sizes were added to the plan. Number 4. Room labels. Added text labels such as bedroom, kitchen, CR, and living area. Number 6. Organizing layers. Created separate layers such as wall layer, door layer, window layer, furniture layer, dimension layer, text and annotation layer. Each layer was assigned its own color and the line thickness. Organizing layers in a floor plan is essential for efficiency, clarity, collaboration, and control over the drawing elements.
Creating the
Elevation.
1. Selected the front view of the structure to draw the ground line and exterior wall outlines. 3. Added windows, doors, and roof outline or apply height dimensions e.g. wall height 2.4 meter. 5. Added labels such as front elevations, ground line, and roof height.
Let's proceed applying layers, dimensioning and annotation layers. Using layers help separate different elements of the drawing. This makes the drawing clean, easy to edit, and more professional. Dimensioning. Proper dimensionings show accurate measurements of room size, wall lengths, fittings, or door and windows. Building height or in elevation. Dimensions. Lines were placed neatly to avoid overlapping with wall or text annotation. Annotations were added using text tool to label room names, floor level, elevation name, notes. This makes the drawing understandable even without verbal explanation.
Hello and welcome to SourceCAD. In this video, I will tell you about making a floor plan from a completely blank drawing. So right now we have this drawing. We don't know the units or any other value which is set in this drawing, and we'll start with the units. We'll set the proper units in this template. Then we'll add walls, and then we'll add doors and windows. So we'll use blocks for adding doors and windows, and then we'll add other additional blocks in the drawing. And then we'll learn about adding text and other annotations. Then we'll add the hatches, and finally we'll add dimensions to our drawing. So let's get started with this first part of this tutorial. So here we have this completely blank template, and we'll start with the units. So to set the unit, simply type UN on the command line and press enter. Now here this drawing units window will pop up. Here we need to select the unit type, and I'll select architectural in this case. Also the precision should be set to 1:4. You can select any other precision if you want. And in this insertion scale, I'll select inches. Now with these changes, click on OK. Now I'll start with the rectangle, and I'll click anywhere in the drawing area to start the rectangle, and we need to make a rectangle with a length of 50 feet and a height of 31 feet. And for that, I'll type at 50 feet, 31 feet. So you can clearly see that I'm adding this fit sign right after the number or right after the values. So you should ensure that these signs are added. Now, after adding these values, simply press enter. There we have it, the rectangle with length of 50 feet and height of 31 feet. You'll find this fit sign on your keyboard, and here's the key which should be selected. And for selecting the inches, you need to select the same key by pressing and holding the shift key. Now let's go to the line tool, And this time I'll start with this point, but I'll not click on this point. Instead, I'll simply drag it in upward direction. And when I drag it in upward direction, you'll see this extension option on this tooltip. And if you're not able to see this option, go to this object snap, click here and select this extension option. Now I'll click back here. Once again, I'll go to this point and drag it upwards and enter a distance of 15 feet and press enter. Now move it in this direction, enter a distance of 12 feet, press enter and move it downwards like this. Now press enter again to repeat the line tool, click on this point and enter a distance of 6 feet, press enter. Now move it in this direction, enter a distance of 10 feet, press enter. Now join it with this point. Make sure that it is connecting this line at the intersection point and not this midpoint. So here we need to ensure that it is connected at this intersection point like this. Alright, so here we have it. Now go to the line tool again and go to this end point and join it with this one, this intersection point. Press enter again, select the next end point, join it here. Now the boundaries of this floor plan is complete. We need to add thickness to the wall. For that, I'll go to this offset tool and enter the offset distance of 10 inches. And for inches, you need to select this keyboard key and you need to select it by pressing and holding the shift key. Now press enter and click on this rectangle and click outside. Now press enter again and press enter again to repeat the offset tool. Now this time I'll select an offset distance of 6 inches and press enter. Now click on this line, offset it in upward direction, upward direction, upward direction, and this one also. Here move it towards right and move it towards left. Move this line towards right. Alright, now we need to add one more line over here, and for that I'll once again select offset and add an offset distance of 10 feet and press enter. Now click on this line, this one which is on the bottom, and click upwards and go to offset and select an offset distance of 6 inches, press enter and move it upwards. Alright, now we need to clean this geometry a little bit, and for that I'll select trim tool. So select it and press enter. Now carefully remove these parts of the drawing. So this area should be cleaned, and here also, here also, here also. So wherever these lines are intersecting, simply clean them. Alright, the drawing is now complete. Now we'll start by adding two different blocks, and we'll start with door and window. And before that, we need to make the door and window. So we'll make our own door and window here, but before making those blocks, I'll go to this layer properties. Now click on this layer properties and add some layers to the drawing. So we need to add these layers because we will place different objects on different layer for easy classification, and that's the general way of making these drawings. And you should also try to put different kind of objects on different layers. So I'll click on this new layer option and I'll add a new layer, door. Click on this again and type window, the same icon, and type blocks, hatches, text, dimensions, and that's it for now. So I'll add different colors also. So I'll go to this door and I'll add this magenta color to door. I'll go to window, let's add this blue color, and let's go to blocks, add this cyan. For hatches, I'll select green. For text, let's select yellow, and for dimensions, I'll select this pink color. Alright, so we have added colors, and these colors will be used to differentiate between different objects of the drawing. So now we can start with the door block. So go to this drop down, change it to door, and now click on this rectangle tool, click anywhere in the drawing area and type at, and the length of this rectangle should be 3 inches and the height should be 3 feet, and press enter. So alright, here we have it. Now make another rectangle, a small one, and this time I'll type at a length of 3 inches and a height of 6 inches and press enter. Alright, so here we have it. Now simply move it on this end point here, just like this. Now I'll go to this arc tool and select this center start end. Now click on this point, that will be the center point, the start point, and the end point along this x-axis. Now make a copy of this small rectangle and simply move it on this endpoint like this. So our door block is ready. Now we only need to make a variation of this door block, and for that I'll make a copy of this. So select copy tool, and here we have it. So that's the original one, and I'll just make another copy here, and for making the next copy I'll select this mirror tool. Select mirror, select it all and press enter. Now click on this point and click on this point and press enter. Now we need to remove these two rectangles. These rectangles are no longer needed, and here we have it. So we have these two variations of the door block. Now let's make windows, and for windows I'll once again select rectangle, and before doing that let's change the layer. So I'll change the layer to window. Alright, now click anywhere in the drawing area. Let's type at, and the length is 5 feet, comma, the height is 6 inches, and press enter. So as you can see that due to the dark color of this window, we are not able to see it quite properly. So I'll change the color of this window. So I'll click on this box and change it to this orange color and click on OK, close it. So there we have it. Now it's quite clearly visible. Alright, now let's explode this drawing and click on offset, enter an offset distance of 1 inch, offset it downwards, offset it here. Now make a copy of this one and copy it to the midpoint. Alright, let's go to the trim tool and trim it like this. So here we have it. One of the windows is now prepared. Let's select this rectangle tool again and make another window. For that I'll type at 6 feet, comma, 10 inches and press enter. I'll select this one, type X and press enter. So that will again explode this complete geometry. Select the offset tool, type 2 inches as the offset distance, offset this one to 2 inches here also, and make a copy of this line similar to the one we did in the previous case, and here also I'll trim this portion. Alright, so we have these two windows and these two doors. Now let's convert them into blocks, and for that I'll go to this create block and let's name it as door 1. Select the pick point and click on this point here. That's the pick point. Now select objects and select all of these objects and press enter, and now click on OK. So we have a door block. Now the second door block, so repeat the process, name it as door 2, pick point, and let's select this one as the pick point, select objects, select them all, press enter and OK. Similarly repeat the process for window. Alright, so now we have added doors and windows, and you can see them in this list. We have door 1, door 2 and window 1, window 2. Now they're ready to be added in our drawing. Alright, so now welcome to the part 2 of this video, and here we'll add different blocks to our drawing, including the door, window and other interior blocks. So let's get started. So here we have these two blocks which we have already made, and I'll start by adding this door block. For that I'll go to this copy tool, select the door block, click here and click on this endpoint and move it at the required position. So in this case I'm not quite concerned about the exact location, I just need to move it here. So I simply click on this point and press enter. Now we need to flip it, and for that I'll select it, go to this mirror tool, click on this endpoint and then click on this endpoint and select yes from erase source objects, and here we have it, the block as per our requirement. Now we can make copies of this block. So select it, make a copy and select this endpoint and move it here, close to this one, and move it once again close to this point, just like this. Alright, now we need to add one more block over here, and we obviously need to rotate that one also. So I'll once again select this copy tool, select this original block, click on this point and move it somewhere over here. Now we need to rotate it. For that select the rotate tool, zoom into this area, select this one, press enter, click on this point, and you can simply rotate this one like this. So here we have it. Now we need to add the next block, which is this one, this door block, and for that you can simply move it. So select move tool, select it and move it over here. Alright, so here it is. Now we can also erase this block, this is no longer required. Now we have these two windows which we need to add. So I'll start by adding this window, but I'll make a copy of this, and I'll first rotate this one. So select rotate and click on this point, and you can directly make a copy by rotating this also. So I'll simply click on copy and I'll make another copy of this which is rotated to a particular angle, so you can move it also. Here it is. Now select copy tool, select this one and move it on this wall. So obviously we need to move this second one, as this is the other wall of 10-inch thickness, so we can move it inside this drawing, and here in this case we will place it here on this wall just like this and press enter. Now select this one and select copy tool and move it on this wall. You can take reference of this endpoint and I'll move it here, and now press enter. Now I'll select this window and once again I'll rotate this one, select it, click on this point, make a copy and rotate this one. We can once again move it and we can now copy it. So select it, select the copy tool and copy it on this point. So you can take reference of any of these points. I'll take the reference of this endpoint here. Alright, and once again take reference of this endpoint, place it here, place another one over here, just like this. Okay, and now we need to place one here. So I'll select this one. You can now move it directly. Select it and move it somewhere over here. So now we have this window here. I'll make one more copy of this window, select it, make a copy and move it over here. So in this case, I'll take reference of this endpoint and I'll move it here. Alright, now these windows are no longer required. You can simply erase them. So windows are now added, doors are also added, but we need to clean the geometry a little bit because you can see that this area is not quite clean. And for that, I'll select this trim tool once again. So select trim, press enter, and simply remove these areas just like this. So you can do that quite easily using the trim tool. Alright, now it's done. And with these changes, I'll save this drawing once. So I'll click on this save. I'll go to the desktop and let's name it as floor plan. And I'll click on save. Alright, our drawing is now saved. Now we can add other blocks, and we're not going to create all of the blocks, and we already have a library of blocks within this AutoCAD 2018 or whatever version you are using, and that library is called Design Center. So you can open Design Center by pressing Ctrl+2 key on your keyboard, or you can also use its command Add Center. Now this will open the Design Center with your default view. In my case, this is the default view, or this is the last view which I have selected. So in order to return to the default view, click on this home icon, and that will take you to the default view. Now select this ENUS folder and Design Center, and here you will find this list of drawing, and you can select your required type of block from this list. So I'll go to this house designer, select blocks. Now we have these blocks. So we need this bathtub. Let's drag and drop it here. And as you can see that we have this in this window color, which we obviously don't want. So we want this on the blocks layer. So let's change it to blocks, and I'll simply erase this one, and I'll drag and drop it once again. Now select this toilet block, select the sink, and click on home. Let's go to ENUS Design Center, and now we'll select Home Space Planner, blocks, and now we need this bed. We also need this dining set, this lamp, this plant, this sofa, and let's move to this home icon again, ENUS Design Center, and let's select this kitchens and blocks. And now we need some blocks for the kitchen. So I'll select this oven, I'll select this refrigerator, and this double sink. Alright, now let's close this Design Center. We have now sufficient number of blocks here in the drawing area. Now we'll add these blocks one by one in our drawing, and I'll start with this bed. So select this one, make a copy of this, and move it here. Now we can rotate this one. So select rotate tool and rotate it with this point, and I'll rotate it just like this and move it once again to the required position. In this case, I'll place it somewhere close to this point. Let's zoom a little bit, and there we have it. Now let's select this table lamp, and I'll make a copy of this and I'll move it here. Now let's make a table, a small one, and we'll place that table over here. Alright, so now we have this set quite complete, and we need to make a copy of this on this side as well. So I'll select these three objects, I'll select copy tool, click anywhere, and just move it to this side like this. Now let's add the objects in the toilet, and for that I'll select this one and I'll move it inside, and this is the toilet, so I'll just place it over here. Now we need to rotate this one, so select rotate it like this. And let's now move it to one of these corners. We can take reference of this point as well if required. There we have it. Now we need to move this bathtub. So I'll select the move tool once again, because we only have a single copy of this. We don't need to add multiple copies here. So here it is. Once again, I'll rotate this one. So click anywhere in the drawing area and rotate it like this. And I'll move it here by taking the reference of this point, just like this. Now select the sink, and once again, move it over here. Alright, so these things are now added. Now we can erase this bed. This is no longer required. Now let's add this dining table. So select it, select the move tool, and place it over here. We'll rotate this one as well. So select, rotate, and rotate it to this 90-degree angle, and I may need to move it because we accidentally selected some other point. So there we have it. Alright, now let's add these objects in the drawing room. So I'll select this move tool, and I'll move this sofa somewhere over here. And let's make a copy of this. So select copy tool, make a copy, and we'll rotate this copy of sofa. So select, rotate, select this point, and make a copy like this. And let's move it a little bit towards this side. Alright, there we have it. Now we can add a table here in the middle of this, or we can also move it a little bit if required, just like this. And let's move it also. And let's add the table. So I'll add the table here. Okay. And now we need to add a small filleted radius on this rectangle, and for that I'll select this fillet tool and click on radius, and I'll approximately select the radius by clicking at 2 points. So that will be the radius. Click on polyline and click on any of these lines. So that will add fillet on all of these 4 vertices. So there we have the table. Now let's add the TV here. So for the television set, I'll select the rectangle tool, click on this point, and let's add it just like this. And now let's move this plant, and I'll move it from this point to this one, somewhere over here. And I'll make another copy of this, and I'll add it here. Alright, and let's add it here as well. So there we have it. We can move it a little bit upwards if required, just like this. Alright, so now we have added lots of blocks. We only need to add some blocks in the kitchen. So for that, I'll start with this sink. Select move tool, move it here. Now select the oven and move it here. We need to rotate this one. Select rotate. There we have it. Again move and move it a little bit like this. Select the refrigerator, move it to somewhere over here. Alright, now I'll move this sink a little bit towards right. Now we can move this lamp, or we can simply erase it. It's no longer required. And we need to add the slab here. And for that, I'll go to the line tool and I'll drag this midpoint. I'll click somewhere over here and now add a distance of 3 feet. Press enter. Join it with this point. Select the line tool. And now once again with the extension, type 3 feet and join it with this one. Now we can trim this portion. Select trim, press enter and click on this point here. So this line is also now trimmed. So now we have added all the required blocks in our floor plan as well. So after adding these details, we can now add hatches to our drawing. And for adding the hatches, I'll go to this layer and change it to hatch. And now let's click on save icon once again. And let's move to this hatch tool. Now in this hatch, I'll select the solid pattern. That's the one which we need. And select this area, the area within this wall. Again, select this area, the area over here, and the area here, the small area here also, and here also, and the small area over here. Now make sure none of the areas are unchecked, and yes, we have added it everywhere. Now simply click on close hatch creation, and we have added the wall thickness using these hatches. And now we can add the text. So before adding the text, we need to change the text style, and that will be the style of text everywhere in the drawing area. So I'll go to this annotation, expand it, and select this text style icon. Now we have this standard text which is selected right now, and we have the font txt.shx. So I'll change it to simplex. So let's type S, and here we have the simplex.shx font. Also the height is not set, so that will take the default height. You can keep it that way if you want. Simply select apply and close. Now I'll change it to text, and let's add this multi-line text. So let's make this window and let's type bedroom 1. Now the size of text should be 1 feet, and that depends on the overall scale. For this case, I'll select 1 feet. So select the complete text, and here in the size field, change it to 1 feet and press enter. And now click outside, and the text is added. So you can now move it to place it properly. And now let's make multiple copies of this. So select copy tool, select the text and make a copy of this one. I'll make it here. I'll make a copy here, here, and here. You can make another copy here also, and a copy over here. Now we can modify these text values. So let's double click here and let's change it to air vent. Let's change this text to toilet. You can move it as well to place it properly. Double click here, change it to bedroom 2. This one is drawing room. And we need to rotate this text as well. So we'll do it in a moment. Here we have this dining area. Let's expand it. And finally the kitchen. Alright, now let's move this a little bit and we'll rotate this one. So select rotate and rotate this like this and move it here. Alright, now we have added all the required values here. We have added the text, we have added the blocks and everything within this drawing. So we finally need to add dimensions in our drawing, and we need to print this floor plan using our physical or virtual plotters. And that we'll learn in the next and the final part of this series.